Okay, so that is the Kshetra. Now let's look at the Kṣetrajña and the object of knowledge, which is really the object of knowledge. And here Bhagavan says, I will declare that which is to be known, knowing which one attains immortality. This is the outcome. This is a result of knowing the known, which is if I know myself as the field of the knower, then immortality. Then breaking away from the cycle of birth and death. And immortality means what? Beginningless supreme Brahman, called neither being nor not being. So in our transactional world, there is being and non-being. Things come and disappear. But this is even beyond that. In other words, it's beyond creation, beyond the gunas, beyond everything. And it is leading us to the truth about ourselves, which is the supreme Brahman. And with hands and feet everywhere, with eyes everywhere, heads and mouth everywhere, with ears everywhere, all over the place. It doesn't mean that. It means that each one of us is the expression of this supreme Brahman, and therefore we can say hands are everywhere, feet are everywhere. Now this is what Bhagavan is telling Arjuna, is that this is the expression of divinity here and now. Wherever you see us in hands and feet and everything else, know that Brahman is there. And he says he exists in this world, enveloping all in one in all. Again, giving us this same idea about divinity and how to recognize that in our transactional world. Shining by the functions of all the senses, yet without senses. See how he puts this kind of contradictions as it were between the shining of the functions in the senses, but Brahman itself is without senses. This is now the connection, the conjunction between Purusa and Prakrti, the field and the knower of the field. And the knower of the field doesn't have any senses, but it is shining by the functions of all the senses. Unattached, yet supporting all. Devoid of qualities, yet their experiencer. Without and within all beings, the moving and also the unmoving, because of its subtlety, unknowable, near and far away. It is that is Brahman. This is the Kṣetrajña. Remember that it is expressing itself through the body, mind, intellect. It is expressing throughout the creation, and therefore it means that we have to read each one of these verses and contemplate and see what is Bhagavan talking about here when he says shining by the functions of all the senses, yet without the senses. So it is like it says in the Kenopanishad, the eye of the eye, the ear of the ear. It doesn't make sense. And that, sometimes can be very confusing. What do you mean by this eye of the eye and the ear of the ear? This is what it means. It means that something is making the eye to function. What is it which is making the eye to function? Why is it that I can see something? And why is it that things exist in the world? All these are really explaining the conjunction between Purusa and Prakriti and how they come together in you and me to give expression to life, to vitality, to the sentiency, to movement which is taking place, perception, whatever is happening is because of divine being here present right now. Then he says undivided, yet he exists as if divided. So transcendentally, of course, it's undivided. But when it comes to creation, it looks as if everything is divided. That is to be known as a supporter of being, Vishnu. He devours and he generates, Shiva. And he generates because he's Brahma, right? So all the Trimurti is expressed here. He says in creation, Vishnu, Shiva, and Brahma are here and now. And this is nothing but the transcendental expressing itself in the transactional. That Brahman, the light of all lights, is said to be beyond darkness. Knowledge, the object of knowledge, seated in all hearts. Seated in all hearts means at the heart of everything, the essence is the object of knowledge. It is the knowledge, the self-knowledge itself. It is beyond darkness. It is the light of all lights. Light of all lights means what? By which I can perceive everything. So that when I see the light, There is another light which is illuminating this light. It is the light of all lights, and to be reached by knowledge. This is the self-knowledge which we are looking for. Thus the field as well as the knowledge and the knowable have been briefly described. Knowing this, my devotee enters into my being. So Bhagavan is saying, I have explained this to you, and if you know this, and knowing doesn't mean that it is intellectual knowledge, but knowing this means to experience all these things in our lives. It is only that we can enter into Bhagwan's being. And Bhagwan's being is what? Brahman. This is where we have to enter.